And joining us now is Eddie Andrews. Eddie is, we've mentioned, running for Iowa governor. Eddie, thanks so much for taking some time to chat with us today.
Oh, it is my pleasure. It is
All
my
right.
pleasure, John.
Let's, I want to get to know you a little bit, and I want our viewers to get to know you. You've spent some time in the Iowa House, but there's so much more to you than that. Give us a sense of who you are, an Iowa native, and now you're here.
That's right. Born and raised here in Iowa. Before we get to the 3 terms in the Iowa House, and before we start talking about how many of my colleagues refer to me as one of the hardest working people in the legislature, I am a family man. Married my high school sweetheart. We have 2 wonderful daughters. One got married last year. One is getting married next month.
Nice, congratulations.
Yes, thank you. We have a son who we unfortunately lost 6 years ago. And we raised my niece, and we have a number of people who are like family in our house, who we've assisted, and been a community, a public figure in many things that I've done. I founded Des Moines Spanish Conversation Group to bring different communities together. I've started a group called Mentoromics. It's a private group that assists kids and teaches them how to code, but from an entrepreneurial standpoint. And I've been active in many volunteer organizations throughout the state. And never thought I was going to get in public service in this way until I saw a need, and at that case, in that time, it was primarily centered on mental health. I saw how many holes we had in that system. It's kind of personal because my son suffered from some mental health challenges. And unfortunately, at one point I just said, either put up or shut up, either take steps to fix the system or stop talking about it. And then that's when I jumped into the world of politics. And we've made a number of successes, but we have a long way to go.
How did you know you were ready for this step?
Well, we pray. I mean, I've been in ministry for a number of years, and at some point you just realize this is the calling. If not me, then who, right? If no one else is doing it, maybe it's my time to just jump in and actually be a part of the solution.
Yeah. Let's talk about the state. How do you sort of see and judge the direction of the state right now?
I think overall, the current leadership has been phenomenal in so many respects. Leadership matters. There are certain things that we never could have gotten through without good, strong leadership. That doesn't mean that I've agreed with everything, but I think in general, the state has been going, I think, in the right direction as determined by the elections. The people certainly think so. I personally have gotten elected in a purple/blue seat as a Republican. And I think the issue is not so much what the party is, but what you believe and what you're fighting for. If you believe that every parent should be in charge of the child's education, I think I'm your guy. If you believe that landowner rights should be protected by the Constitution, then I'm your guy. If you believe that our property tax system is messed up and needs a complete reform, Eddie Andrews is your guy, right? And for those and many other reasons, I think people have gotten behind my candidacy. They've seen my work in the State House, and you can't talk about Eddie Andrews without talking about the hard work and the effort that I've presented all across Iowa.
So let's talk about the property rights issue because, if you like the sound of that, you're going to get behind Eddie Andrews, it sounds like. But those are not simple topics, right? The issue of eminent domain, it's a complex topic in some ways, and that's why there's so many forces kind of going back and forth on it. The same with property taxes, right?
Well, I would say that we've made it more complicated than it needs to be, right? You can be pro-corn pro-ethanol, pro-sustainable aviation fuel. You can be pro-business, pro-growth, all of those things, and still 100% protect landowner rights. That's actually in the Declaration of Independence, right? Those life, liberty, and pursuit of happiness. Obviously, pursuit of happiness includes property. And as we celebrated just recently the 249th anniversary of the Declaration of Independence, it's government's job to protect your landowner rights. And quite honestly, you can do that on day one. I will do that on day one. If you can't figure it out before I get there, on day one, I will have legislation signed in the next 30 days of my administration, and that problem will be solved. You can make flexible routes. You can do other things, and of course, we're talking about the main issue is the carbon pipeline, right? And you can solve this problem pretty simply while 100% protecting those rights. And I have been at the forefront of that fight since day one.
Yeah.
I'm not a Johnny-come-lately. I'm part of the one of the Republicans who was suing the Republican-appointed Iowa Utilities Commission for overstepping their bounds. And there are certain issues that are not party issues. They're just right and wrong, not right and left.
Let's talk about property taxes, because I want
Yes,
people
sir.
to understand what you mean by that, so they're very clear as to what to expect.
I like to challenge premises. Like, why do we accept the premise that we rent our homes forever, even after we own the land and we bought the house, and even if you paid off your house, you still never fully own it? And why do we accept that premise? Why do we accept the premise that we every year we get our property tax and we have to wait in the mail to be surprised? I wonder what this should be this year. Like, I totally reject both of those premises. And I think we either need to, first of all, we need to completely reform it, whether that's complete an elimination of property taxes and restructure how we do this, which I'm definitely have been leading on that for the last year. There are other approaches that I'm listening to. We have 3 different approaches that we are presenting. We'll be presenting formally soon. But yes, it's gotten out of control. You have 90-year-old grandmothers who need help every year to pay their property taxes, which is effectively rent on houses they've owned for 20 years, right? And so we have to do something to change that structure 100%.
People are going to go to, the ballot, and they're going to look at these names. And I know you've talked about saying you got to focus on the issues that you're focused on and not really compare yourself or run necessarily against other folks.
Right.
But ultimately, there may be similarities that people have to discern between.
Sure.
How do they discern and say, Eddie is the guy?
Well, first of all, Eddie is the guy, right? But on a serious note, I've never run against a person in either one of my 3 races that I've had before. I was not supposed to win either one. I was outspent tremendously, 6-1 in the first race against an incumbent. And each race was actually harder than the next one. Redistricting made it harder. The third one, we had an extra person in there. And in each race, I told them, I'm not running against you. I'm running for these ideas. If I don't win, if the people don't like those ideas, then call me if you need me, right? It's not about me. It's about the ideas that we're projecting. And in each case, the voters said, yeah, I like that vision. Your vision resonates with me. Everywhere we go, our message has resonated, and we are winning in those areas that I've been in. And so there is differentiation. I can tell you that I have been out I'm the only guy that's been out on the landowner side since day one. I can tell you that I've introduced the parental rights bill. I've been out fighting for families, for children and families. One of the things that keeps me going, I've been out knocking doors and talking to people, and I have had so many people, not once, not twice, but many times I've been out, and people will just give me the biggest bear hug and say, hey, are you Eddie Andrews? And I'll say, yes, and they will give me a big bear hug. Thank you so much for fighting for my kids. Thank you so much for helping in mental health. My family would have been completely different without this, this legislation that you presented. The autism, one of the disability societies contacted me and said, Eddie, the autism bill that you presented this past session, which got signed by the governor, was one of the best autism bills in the entire United States this year. Is it okay if we feature this? And of course it is, right? And so I've been out fighting for the defenseless, for people who can't sometimes defend themselves, and for property rights, and for mental health, for education. We need to get our education system back to #1. And they see all the hard work that I've been doing, and there's no question that people like that vision. And I have no doubt that after we spread this message all across the state, that they will be intrigued first, and then move more and more to voting for Eddie Andrews.
All right, Eddie Andrews,
Thank
it's been
you.
a pleasure getting to know you.
John, thank you so much, and thank you to all the audience that is listening.